Hello, greetings, everybody. This is Pamela Lorenzo, your host, your coach. And tonight we're kicking off officially day 2 of the 5-day podcast leads challenge. I'm delighted. I'm honored. I'm blessed. Thank you for your trust, for spending your Tuesday evening, Wednesday afternoon, whatever time it is, your day, here with me, with us. It's going to be fun. Thank you. Before we start, do you guys have any questions from anything we covered yesterday? From day 1? Don't be shy. We're all friends here. Raise your hands. Once, twice. No questions? As our brother Phil would say, speak now as remain silent forever.
Forever hold your peace.
Thank you. Thank you, Father. All right, cool. Sandra, since you're not here, please give us a brief intro about you. What do you do? Where you from? And what do you expect from this challenge? Say 60 seconds. Putting you on the
I am
spot, my
Sandra.
friend.
Yes, that's right. I'm Sandra Hyatt. Yes, and I'm on mute. I'm Sandra Hyatt. I'm here to learn. Yeah, Jaime that said he was new to podcasting and wanted to learn more. No, it was our. I don't remember. Must be John. Yeah, yeah. How you say your name,
Johnny,
Johnny?
yeah.
Johnny, yeah. Like him, I'm new to podcasting. I want to learn myself too and see where this will lead.
Awesome. Well, you're in the right place, my friend. And what is your business? What do you want to, how do you want to, what do you want to achieve through
I
your podcast?
through podcasting, I want to get more get leads. I want to get more people interested in the business that I am wanting to be more successful. um i am I am looking into, because I have not started as yet, I'm looking into CCC, career change coach. um Females, not that I have anything against males, okay, but focusing on on a female, you're one that is employed already and want to, for whatever reason, want to change career. I have had that experience and have had a difficult time, and I believe I'll be fitting to serve that population. And I am interested to learn about podcasting and how this will help me to reach more clients, to, so that we can communicate, so we can be, I can have them in my, be interested and want to participate in my business.
Awesome. Awesome. Love that. Thank you for sharing. Okay, cool. So day 2, we're going to talk about the benefits of podcasting. First of all, I'm going to share with you why podcast is so powerful for businesses and entrepreneurs, and go over the benefits of podcasting for both you personally as a person and also for your business. So let's get going. So we already went the agenda for today. Introduction, Q&A from day 1. Last call, any questions from yesterday? Anything we covered yesterday? Once, twice? All right. Then I'm going to be talking to you about, first of all, starting to share with you why podcasting is so powerful, and then give you examples and go over in details of the benefits of podcasting for you as a person, as well as for your business. And I'm also going to be showing some of how it changed my life as well, especially personally. So first of all, why is podcast so powerful? Because again, a podcast is very big because it's more than just a podcast. It's a platform that allows you to share your story, display your expertise, and have your exact audience to get to know you, and at the same time have an unmatched, intimate connection with the audience while building a trust. Because when someone listens to the radio or TV, if people still do that these days, it's really loud and there's a lot of distraction around. But when someone listens to your podcast, only you and the earbuds, and as a result of that, you get an incredible intimate connection and attention that you will not be able to get through any other meeting. And by doing so, you really connect with them and they connect with you. In the process, they will be building that indispensable and fundamental trust, because we're dealing all here with high-ticket offers. And when you're selling high-ticket, it's all about trust and building rapport. And because at the end of the business, it's not a numbers game. Sure, numbers matter, but ultimately, it's a relationship nurturing process. Do you guys see my file right now on my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, let me try
Perfect.
to
Yes.
okay, this is a
There
slide.
you
You see,
go.
why
You
is
got it now.
podcasting so powerful for business?
Yes.
Ah,
Got
That's
hallelujah.
it.
Thank you, guys. Teamwork.
Woohoo!
Thank you.
It's your teamwork.
I never had this issue. We're all together yesterday. Yesterday it worked fine. God knows why it's not working today. I'll check it out. But anyways, so I just covered this. So why is podcasting so powerful for business? It's because it's more than just a podcast, a platform to share your story, display your expertise, and connect heart to heart in order for you to build that indispensable trust, rapport, and connection with the exact ideal audience. Please feel free to ask question anytime. Raise your hands. Okay. So again, as I mentioned earlier, from my experience, what I've seen, business, what is business at the base, at the core? Business, it's not the numbers game. Sure, numbers matter, but ultimately it's a relationship nurturing process. Again, because we do business with people we like, trust, and relate. All of us in here, let's say you're looking for a doctor, an accountant, or even a baker, a mechanic. Sure, they're all qualified, they all have the degrees and all that, but the one we do business with is the one we connect the most as a person, man to man, woman to woman, and so on and so forth. If we can't connect human to human, we're not going to be talking. For example, all of us in here, we are here because we like and trust each other. We can relate to each other. That's why, if not, we'd not be here spending our time together here. So that's why, for me, from my experience, business, it's most and foremost a relationship nurturing process, because because again, we do business with people we like, trust, and relate with. And podcasting is by far, from my experience and those of my students, the best way to build that trust, rapport, and connection, and not just with random people, but your exact ideal audience. Because again, we don't need everybody, the entire 8, 9 billion, whatever many people we have on this planet, to listen to us. That would be nice, but it's not feasible. Instead, we want the ones that really connect with us, resonate with us, identify with us, and relate with us. And podcasting is the best way to do so, because again, only the people that relate with your message will take the time to listen to your podcast, to what you have to say. Next. All right. So why is podcasting the best way to connect with exact ideal audience, prospect, and clients? I already alluded to some of these, is because again, when someone listens to let's say to radio, TV, usually it's loud. There's a lot of distraction around you. But podcasting, it's only you and them and the earbuds. And someone listens to you is for 3 main reasons. One, sure, they're interested in your topic. But most importantly, it's because they can relate with you, resonate with your message, identify with you. And even more importantly, is because they like you. They like your personality, your sense of humor, your vision, your values, your goal, your mission statement, and so on and so forth. So this is why, by you sharing, keeping on releasing content, interviewing people, or just you sharing your knowledge, your experience, your tips, over the course of a few days, a few weeks, or even a few months, your listeners will start to get to know you, to feel that, hey, they will see you almost as a friend, even they've never met you. Raise your hand if you've been listening to a podcast, if you're a podcast listener yourself. I can see you, Sophie, nodding your head. Yes, yes, yes. Louisa, okay, Katana, of course. Yeah, so again, when you listen to your favorite podcast, guys, do you agree that after a few episodes, you feel like you know the person, you view him almost as a friend, even though you've never met them? Yeah, okay, see?
Yeah.
And then it becomes natural for you to reach out to them, as opposed to they try to, cold approach you, cold call you, whatever, cold DM you. So this is another very important process, because once your audience start to get to know you, view you as a friend, then it will become very natural for them to reach out to you.
Payman, I
Yes.
personally find that when I'm listening to somebody on the first podcast, I very quickly decide whether or not I want to ever listen to the rest of it. And
Absolutely.
so much of it comes down to these kinds of qualities.
Absolutely. Because again, at the base, it's all the same thing. We're dealing with human beings, and it's all about human interaction, about trust, rapport. If you like the person, if you can connect with them, relate, identify with them, that's the case across the board. As long as you're interacting with people, the same principles apply. So yeah, I completely agree with you, Phil. Now we all know it that the most valuable currency in the world of business, especially online, is attention. Because nowadays, what is it again? It's the attention span of the average adult is I think it was less than 7 seconds, but now I saw an updated version is like 3 seconds. 3 seconds, yes. Especially now with all those apps like TikToks, Instagram, YouTube, Shorts, Facebook, and all that. You're getting bombarded. You just go next, 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 and you have your phone, your computer, you have your friends, your people around you. Everybody's fighting for your attention. Everybody, literally. So how do you stand out? And that's why podcasting is incredible because, again, especially when someone listens to your podcast, they might be, say, doing another activity like, say, cooking, doing the dishes, going for a walk, maybe in some time, taking a shower. I have a small little speakers. I put when I take shower, I put my podcast. But again, the point is, yes, they may be doing something else, but they also listening just to you and only you. There's no other distraction, no other TV or apps open and all that. So this is why you get an undivided, incredible attention as a result of it. And again, the name of the game is how do you stand out? How do you catch someone's attention? I also saw that 20 years ago, back in the 90s, the attention span of an adult was 7 minutes. Look how far we've come. And 30 years from 7 minutes to 3 seconds. It's incredible. And God knows in 5, 10 years where it's going to be.
Yeah. Mm.
So, yeah, it's all about attention.
Just for your information, a
Yes.
goldfish has 9-second attention span.
Wow. That's amazing. What is attention span of a bear? Hey, Jody?
Depends
Sorry,
how
you lost
fast
me.
you're running.
So humans now have less of an attention span than a goldfish, right? Wow.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yikes.
Damn.
Yeah.
When I was first teaching school back in the 70s, we were taught that children have an attention span 1 minute longer than their age. So a
Mm.
5-year-old had an attention span of 6 minutes.
Wow.
So a 50-year-old with a
Again.
3-second attention span, what does that mean?
Good question, Louisa.
Yikes.
Lucky
Yikes.
baby.
Wow. Did you say 50 seconds or 50 minutes?
No, I said nowadays with the 3
Oh.
second, it is a thing right now on
Oh,
social
yeah.
media that if
Mhm.
you don't grab their attention within the first 3 seconds, they're gone.
Oh, absolutely.
So I
Absolutely.
was wondering, an average 50-year-old on, social media, if you don't grab their attention in 3 seconds, what does that mean, in relation to what you just said, Phil, right? That back.
Yeah, but if we're watching TV and the show goes to a commercial break, how many seconds does it take before we're completely tuned out of the commercial?
3
Right
seconds.
away.
If that.
I just mute it. I go to the bathroom or do something else. I start playing my phone or whatever, Or we'll grab
Yeah.
some food. That's all what we do. Awesome.
Wow.
We record just about everything, and also we fast forward through the replays,
Absolutely.
through the commercials.
Yeah. Awesome. Now, who is podcasting for? Again, as long as you're dealing with human beings, any business, both online and offline, because each client, each customer, each person, each deal, each trade, each product, each launch, whether it's a book, course, program, whatever you do, that's a story, and stories are worth sharing. Whether you're just starting as an established business, podcasting will help you. If you're just starting to get the word out, if you're already established, to further cement your position as a leader in your field, in your industry. And as long as you're dealing with anything that's high ticket over $1,000, then the podcast is a must. It's a no-brainer because again, at that level, when you're selling anything over $1,000, it's all about trust. And as we just saw earlier, podcasting is the best way to build that trust. So whether you're author, coach, professional, entrepreneur, thought leader, whatever you are, podcasting will definitely help you. And even if you're in e-commerce, for example, let's say you're selling products online, you can still use a podcast to build awareness, to really interview your users, because that's how ClickFunnels, for example, they went from 100 million to $1 billion by the moment they started interviewing their users. In a span of 2-3 years, they went from $100 million company to $1 billion just by interviewing the users. Because again, people want to see, okay, this is good, but how does that apply to me, to my business? Oh, I have an agency. Oh, I have a brick and mortar business. I'm a contractor, whatever. And by showing them that this can apply to any industry, any profession, that's how they really got to the moon. And same thing for you. It's all about showcasing sharing your story, displaying your expertise, showing your results. Because again, people want to see, okay, remember what I said in the first day? When you're dealing with iTicket, people want to have 3 key questions answered. Number 1, I saw you, Johnny, was it Johnny or Phil, taking notes about those 3 questions. Do you guys remember?
Yep.
Phil, go
Yep.
ahead. Johnny, okay. What were those 3 questions?
Is this person competent?
Yes.
Can I trust them?
Yes.
Can I do it?
That's it. You got it, Leslie. I wish I could give you a star right now. I'll give you a star to both to you, Phil, and Johnny, because you guys raised your hand. So thank you guys. I appreciate that. Yes. And this is what a podcasting allows you to do, to really answer those questions for your prospect, for your audience. Now, let's take a look at some of the examples of how podcasting, real, concrete, real life benefits of podcasting. First, for you as a person, and then for your business. Of course, it's a beautiful platform for you to share your story and document your journey, making incredible friendships around the world. Like here, we have people from all over the world. You have at least 4 continents here. You would get, this is a big one of my favorite. You get access to people you normally wouldn't. Let's say you just saw someone on TV, you see a thought leader in your industry. You would like to pick up the brains. You reach out to them on LinkedIn or Facebook or whatever. Say, hey, can you please get on a quick call with me to pick up your brain? They will not even respond to you. But if you reach out to them and say, hey, my name is Phil, my name is Louisa, my name is Karen, my name is Sandra. I'm the host of such and such podcast. I love what you're doing. I admire what you're doing, and I would love for you to come share your story on my podcast. The only question it will have is, oh, absolutely, just say when. Send me your calendar. Because again, everybody wants to come talk about themselves on a podcast. So this is one of the biggest benefits of podcasting, because it literally opens up the world for you. In over 3.5 years and over 330 episodes, maybe more, I have had only 2 people so far say no when I reached out to them to interview them. One was because she was just about to give birth, which is understandable. And the second, they were about to move from the US to Europe. Said, okay, we'll do it in a few weeks. But again, they did not say a definite no. They said, okay, let's reschedule it. The point is, test that, guys. See someone you really want to get a hold of, do a test. Reach out to them the normal way. Hey, Mr. Such and so, hey, Mr. Such and so, I would love to get on a call with you to pick up your brain. See if you even get a response from them. And then do it another way. Hey, Mr. or Mrs. Such and so, I love what you do. I've been following you for a while because of X, Y, Z. My name is Leslie, Louisa, whatever. I'm the host of such and such podcast. I would love and be honored for you to come share your story and to display you in our podcast. You will get a response very fast. And only one question. Oh, absolutely. Just say when. Send me your calendar. So again, this is an incredible benefit for that. Let's see, there's a message here. Who's that? Yes, Shannon, go ahead, please.
You're talking about with connection with your people on your podcast. And I just want to say too, for any of you that are going through that process of the healing journey or the awakening to awareness or whatever, and that's exactly what I went through. There came a point in my life where literally there was nobody left in my life because I had to eliminate all the toxins and that meant from every level, people, places, things, you name it. So I was really put into a time of my life where I was put into basically isolation, where I had to really start all over totally and completely. And this was also where my podcast really came in, because I really needed to express what my feelings were. And that was how I came up with my series, You Are Not Alone, because I did feel like I was totally alone. But the more that I expressed myself and my feelings and my thoughts, feelings, and emotions through my book at the beginning of my podcast, the first 14 episodes of my podcast, then I started to grow my audience from all over the world. And now those people, from me eliminating all of the toxic factors within my life, the energy of releasing that and bringing all these people onto my podcast, I have attracted the most beautiful, amazing people in my life. And I speak mainly to people all over the world, and they've actually become very, very good friends of mine, colleagues of mine as well. And so that is one of the biggest benefits of me having a podcast. You know, like I plan on going to England in August. Now I've got connections in England, and I just message these people, or I'll say, let's set up a coffee Zoom. And like, I plan on seeing these people. Do you know what I mean? So there's so much that a podcast can do. And that's what it's done for me. Totally opened up my world. And it's the most beautiful thing. And I've only done my podcast, it's been a year and a half. I think I launched it not last October, but the October before. So yeah. And because of the topic too of my podcast, people want to come on my podcast because they want to share their story. So
Absolutely.
that was my 2 cents.
Beautiful.
Thank you for letting me speak.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you for sharing that. That's a powerful testimony. Absolutely confirms what I was saying. And I can relate with this because for me also, I've made some incredible connections. Real quick story. Back in January of 2023, I was in Thailand on my way to Malaysia. I made a post saying I'm flying tomorrow to from Bangkok to Kuala Lumpur. One lady that I met on my podcast, and she was also on volume 1 of my book. She said, "Oh, I have a friend of mine in KL. Would you like me to connect you to him?" I said, "Absolutely." She connected me to him. That person was, some of you may know him, Snow. He opened up the city for me. He opened up Kuala Lumpur for me. I was supposed to stay in Kuala Lumpur for 1 month. I ended up staying 6 months. He took me under his wing, like my older brother, and he completely changed my experience of Kuala Lumpur. Again, just because of that connection to my podcast, not just business wise, but even from personal life. And in the end, Snow became my best friend in Kuala Lumpur, and he became and I'm honored to say was also on volume number 2 of my book. He also took my academy, the class last year in June. So again, it opens up incredible friendship that lead to beautiful business partnerships as well. Okay, let me see the comments here. Yes. Absolutely. Yes, beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Shannon. Love that. All right. Continuing on. Podcasting will allow you, as it has allowed me, to learn a lot about yourself and get to know yourself. I can't tell you guys how many times after either during the podcast or even especially when I'm rewatching my podcast before releasing them, I catch myself saying, wait, did I really say that? Where is that coming from? Sometimes when I speak, I feel myself in the zone as if the information is being channeled through me. So things that I would normally not say in a normal conversation, but they happen to come naturally when I talk to people on my podcast. Here's a big one. This is probably the biggest impact that completely transformed my life. As you guys know, I used to be painfully shy. And podcasting allowed me to completely overcome my shyness and fear of public speaking. And as a byproduct of that, it also allowed me to regain my self-esteem. My self-esteem was in the gutter. I had very low self-esteem a few years ago because, again, I was, for various reasons, because I have a big nose, no air. I used to be fat, and I used to say, who am I? Nobody. I've been listening to podcasts since it first came on back in 2007, 2006. I always wanted to start my podcast, but I always felt, who am I? I'm a nobody. Who's going to listen to me? Plus the fact that I had not even zero, but negative self-esteem, I couldn't do it. And then eventually I realized it's not about me, but about my gifts, my wisdom, my experiences. People want to hear that. And the more you speak, the more you become first comfortable and then more confident. That's a key. In order to become confident, you need to first become more comfortable doing whatever it is, whether it's getting in front of a camera. If you go on my YouTube channel, you look at my first few episodes, they're really not good. The camera is right on my nose. It's dark. I used to have a beard that made me look like 50 years older, you know, and all that, but I still leave them on purpose so people can see the progress, the journey, the growth. So again, guys, podcasting will transform your life from a personal perspective, from especially if you have if you have a fear of public speaking, if you still have that imposter syndrome, if you still have you know, you're shy, podcasting is going to take care of it, because again, the more you do it, the more you will become first comfortable. And as you become more and more comfortable in front of a camera, in front of speaking, sharing your gifts, all that, then naturally, automatically, seamlessly, you will become more confident. And as a result, your self-confidence will rise to the top. And when you put all of this together, it's going to drastically improve your communication and listening skills. I'm a completely different person as a result of that. Before that, when someone talked, I used to always cut them off in the middle of a sentence. Now, most of you have been on my podcast, and I've had many people compliment on that. Oh, wow, that's amazing. Unlike other podcasts I've been to, the host didn't cut me off. They let me finish my what I was saying. And that's a skill I had to learn. I learned through podcasting. That's a very undervalued, but an incredibly powerful skill. Let the people speak so they can feel they're being heard and listened to. And of course, speaking with all these incredible people that you're going to be talking on your own podcast, you will become a much more interesting person to talk to. You have so many more incredibly experiences, wisdoms to draw upon, to learn from, and all that. And of course, overcoming your fear of shyness, your fear of public speaking, drastically improving your communication skills and listening skills, becoming a more interesting person, you will be able to connect at a much deeper level to people you talk to, not just on a podcast, but even in your personal life, your family, your children, your friends, your lover, whatever. You will connect at a much deeper level because, again, you're able to listen to them attentively, let them speak without interrupting them, really understanding them to make them feel they're being heard and seen. That's an incredible skill. All of that because of podcasting. And then, of course, you put all of this together, you become a more powerful, charismatic speaker and listener because, again, you've become a different person. Last but not least, podcasting is very fun. Doesn't matter what age you are, we all want to learn while having fun. The inner child in us is still alive and vibrant, even if when you reach 95,000 years old. Never suppress that inner child because that inner child is literally the essence of life. The moment you suppress that, you might as well just lay down and just wait to go back to the Lord. So yeah. And last but definitely not least, it's going to allow you to find your voice, your passion, your purpose, your destiny, your reason of being here, just as it did for me. So podcasting for you as a person will be very, very, very powerful. Does anyone want to share any feedback about that, about how they might be suffering from any of these, whether it's fear of public speaking, communication skills, not being able to connect at deep level with people in your life, or feeling that you don't have much interesting stories or experiences to draw, to share, anything? Share. Sophie, go ahead.
I'm excited by the prospect of hearing myself and hearing my message and my story and kind of like clarifying that through this idea of recording and gaining more confidence to that. I also really like the idea of gaining access to people I normally wouldn't and having longer conversations with people because it's something that is rewarding for both of you and for everyone else who will have the potential to hear it.
The longer the conversation, the deeper the connection. And the deeper the connection, the easier, the more seamless the progress from being a prospect to a client. Exactly. Karen.
Well, you said
Thank-
something yesterday that hit me, is like speaking from your heart. And so that really resonates with me. I had done so I've been doing it on Zoom, and I did one on Zoom the other day and recorded it, and it didn't even take, but it was really fun because I really just started chatting. I'm just talking to myself, and that's what I have to get over. I have to get over myself. I have to get over, oh my God, you sound so stupid, or you sound so ridiculous. How could you? To where I know that I have a following of people who know me and want me to do this, because I do have a story, and I do have, just like all of us too, but I really want to inspire other individuals. And I want to become, I still have that vision for myself to become that powerful, inspiring, charismatic speaker and leader. So thank you.
You will. The moment, yes, is very key. Thank you. First of all, Sophie, thank you for sharing your thought. That's beautiful. I love that. Completely agree with you. Karen, this is very key what you raised. And this is the number one thing I talk all the time, whether it's here or with people I talk to, or the first thing I talk inside of my academy is never speak from a script. Don't even speak from here, but speak from here. When you speak from me, that's where the magic happens. That's when people really open up to you. That's where really people start trusting you. And that's where you really start building that rapport. So this is extremely, extremely, extremely important, because the more you speak from the heart, the more authentic you will be, the more vulnerable you will be, and ultimately the more people will really trust you. Because if you speak from here, if you speak from an agenda of trying to close a sale or whatever, people will see through the BS, and they will just can't wait to just get off the call or finish the conversation. But when you speak from here, that's when people open up to you. That's when you earn the trust, rapport, and magic happens. So very powerful reminder. Thank you, Karen. Thank you. Anyone else want to share their feedback, story, anything on those before I move on? One, twice. Okay.
Yeah, me. I want to say
Yes.
something.
Go ahead, Shannon.
Okay, so that's the one thing that people are really attracted to me, is regarding my sense of vulnerability. People like to see that, and that I know that that is my superpower. And there's so many times where I'm in conversations or I'm in my podcast and I hear their stories and I'm asking them questions, and I break down and cry because I cannot help it. And you know, that really gets my audience to get to know me better and also to trust me. So I look at my beginning journey with my podcast to where I am now, and I just, like, even my voice sounds totally different because I've really settled into who I am because of my vulnerability, and I'm not afraid to speak my truth and all of that. But all of that grows with you, right? Because I'm not that same person that I was at the beginning of my podcast a year and some ago compared to where I am now. I've grown. And within your podcast too, you will grow and evolve as well. And you know that too, Payman, you know, for sure. But yeah, the vulnerability is such an important aspect of things. And, you know, at the beginning, I would try and script things. And one thing I've learned is trust yourself, trust who you are. And if something comes through you, that's the universe guiding you. Total faith and belief in yourself. That's all you need. That's really all you need.
Absolutely. And when you speak from the heart, you don't need to do any research. You just share your story. That's it. And sometimes you will catch yourself literally saying things that you never knew that you were able to say, because it's almost as being channeled through you.
Yeah,
I'm getting goosebumps when I'm saying this because it's true.
That's true. That's so true. Yeah,
you guys can see it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you. And you, Shannon, I highly recommend all of you guys to connect with Shannon because she has one of the most incredible stories. I don't want to spill the beans, but yes, definitely talk to her. And yeah, so thank you for sharing that.
Another thing I wanted to say too is a lot of times when you're speaking with somebody and there's something that pops out of you and you don't really realize, like, oh my God, maybe I shouldn't have said that. But a lot of times that is something that that other individual needed to hear, or something was brought forward for them to get through a specific thing as well. I got chills with that too. So
Yes.
it's not necessarily for you to hear or for you to say, it's for them. And that's one thing I've really learned within trusting and believing in myself as well.
Absolutely. And just to piggyback on that, sometimes you just need yourself. Let's say you have a dilemma. You just need to hear yourself speak those words, and then you find your answer. And you just need someone just to allow you to speak. That can be you doing it to them or them doing it to you. That's also powerful.
Yeah.
Johnny, brother, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sitting here with joy and a bit of humor going on, because I'm going to be very interested with a world that's distracted and have a 3-second attention span. And I guess myself, I'm used to slowing it down and really allowing people to come into the moment. But as I've been engaging and learning about marketing and connecting with groups overseas, all of a sudden it's like a different language to me at a different pace and a different whoa. So I'm going to be interested to how am I showing up authentically without it's like sometimes I'm in a room and everybody's vying to speak, and it's like and that, and I'll quietly sit there and wait for a space. So I'm sitting here with curiosity and here to learn.
Absolutely.
What does that look like for me?
Thank you for sharing, brother. Louisa.
I'd like to speak to Johnny. Johnny, you're going to attract people that are just like you. They will find you and you will find them, and they will resonate, because there's many others that are struggling with this very same thing that you are. You see? They will find you, will find them. Like the competing, all that stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. For myself, I don't see it as a struggle.
Sorry,
I sit
that's
there.
wrong choice of words.
But I hear you. I thank you for reflecting that back to me, because the people that are looking for that will come to me, the ones that want to sit in a bit of a not so busy space. Yeah. So thank you, Louisa.
Wrong choice of words. What I should have said is those that feel the same way as you do will find you. Struggle was the wrong word.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate
Thank you, guys. Love this interaction. Yes, indeed. The people that resonate with your message, that can relate with you and identify with you, they will find you magically, automatically, naturally. I've seen that countless. This is why one of the reasons.
Can I say something?
Please go ahead, brother.
Thank you. And I'm struggling with people going to understand what I'm saying, because English is my second language, and so that held me back for a long time. When I made payment, he knows that I was just holding my voice back because of afraid that people are not going to understand me, and I've been told that that no one's going to be interested in listening to me speaking because they're going to get bored. But now I found that because I'm being authentic with myself and who I am, people are actually listening to me, and they're sending me messages and telling me how much they enjoy my messages. So now I'm building my self-confidence by allowing myself to be authentic of who I am, and I'm not going to change anything about myself, and I'm not going to get rid of my accent either, because that's who I am.
I'll make sure you don't, otherwise I'm going to come after you. No, but I remember, I'm really proud of you, brother, because I remember the first time we talked, you were like this. Hi, my name is Jaime. Where are you from? I'm from Colombia. I live in California. Now look at you, like a lion, like a tiger, like a boss. Seriously, just like you always love to say, you're able to open your throat chakra. And that, to me, doing this, opening your throat chakra, overcoming your fear of your shyness, your fear of public speaking, that to me is worth more than $1 billion, because that opens up the world to you. You cannot put a number on it. That completely changed your life. You become the person you're meant to be, you're destined to be. So really proud of you, brother. Well done.
And I also learned, like Luisa and Johnny said, that people are gonna resonate with what you're saying. And I find out that people that like what I said, they follow me. And now this is not to brag, but now I have 10,000 followers in my Facebook page that they follow me for what I talk about, lucid dreaming and astral projection. They resonate with what I'm talking about. It doesn't matter my accent. It doesn't matter who I am, what I'm doing. They resonate with my message. And that's all that matters.
Love
And I
that,
speak
brother.
slow too.
Love that, brother. Love that, love that, love that. You're amazing. All right, so let's move on. Thank you guys for sharing your thoughts. Now, let's take a look at how podcasting can benefit your business, because we're here for business. We want to make money. All right, so as I said earlier and alluded before, it allows you to attract and connect you with the exact ideal audience, because again, just like what Jaime, Luisa, and Johnny said, the people that can resonate with you, they will find you. Same thing here. The people that can identify with you, relate to the message, they will find you. And it's going to allow you, by you releasing episode after episode, you will provide an opportunity for your audience and ultimately your clients to really get to know you. And as they keep on listening to you, they will build a very intimate connection with your audience and vice versa, you with them. And as a result of that, some of your very best clients will be a podcast listener. I'm going to go about deeper into that in a moment, because that's a very powerful thing, but you will see at a moment. And of course, and this is what is the name of this challenge, podcasting is going to be an amazing, not only lead generation, but also a lead education, because as you keep sharing your story, displaying your expertise, you will be educating your audience as to why not only you're an expert, but you're the real deal. You become not just an expert, but their expert, their authority, their leader, because they get to know you, they get to connect with you, they get to like you, trust you. You by default, by de facto, will become their leader, the trusted leader, their trusted expert, the trusted authority. And that's something invaluable. Remember what I said about attention span and the world being incredibly competitive and flooded, the marketplace being flooded? Well, that's one of the best reasons, one of the best ways for you to stand out, to really differentiate yourself, and not only just to survive, but to strive. Heidi, go ahead, my friend.
So I've been podcasting now for a couple of years, but I always have a guest. And I'm wondering, and I mean, I've spoken to someone else about, doing solo episodes, and I haven't really I haven't interviewed people with the viewpoint of I'm showing my skills, because most of the time I'm talking to a guest that I want to highlight what their skills are. And obviously talk about our commonalities where they are. So what's your advice for me if I am missing a trick there? Should I be doing less guest interviews? Or how do you interject your own skills and share your expertise in the middle of a guest interview?
Great question. The way I've been doing it, my podcasts have been exclusively so far interviewing people. So what I've done, and throughout the conversation, either before, during, after the call, they will ask you, so what about you? What do you do? And sometime when they ask it during the call, I just tell them, and just by you sharing your story, sharing examples, episodes, and things like that, you will tell things that will really display your expertise. And just the fact of you releasing an episode on your topic, on your industry, on your expertise over and over and over again consistently, that by default will elevate you to being seen as an expert, because only an expert will be able to release quality content and be able to get high quality guests in their field. So, and also another thing that you can do, I'm also looking into that myself, maybe diversify your episode. You can do a ratio of, say, if you do, say, one podcast a day, you go hardcore all in 5 days a week, you can do, say, 3 or 4 interviews. You can do, say, 3 interviews. One can be you sharing your story, and one you can just bring an expert to do a talk, a masterclass. These are some of the things that you can add some variety to your show. And also you can spice things up and make your show more interesting. And that's something also I'm looking myself at it as well, because so far for the past 3.5 years and 325 episodes, it's been exclusively me interviewing others. So you can do that, a bunch of those. You can do a mix. Again, if you do 5 episodes a week, do 2 or 3, say, interviews, 1 expert talk, and 1 you sharing your story. But the way I've been able to monetize, and by monetize, I don't mean just make peanuts through ad spend, but really get clients, is by me interviewing my prospects. And for that, that's why I've been exclusively doing interviews. I'm very strategic as to who I invite, who I interview. I interview my prospects. Again, remember what I've been saying all this long, podcasting is the best way to build that trust, that rapport, to get the foot in the door, to get access to people I normally wouldn't. That's why I've been doing so far exclusively interviews, because I'm interviewing my prospect. This is the key. And we're gonna go over that, over the clarity, having incredible clarity to identify your exact, first of all, identify your zone of genius and your gift. This is what we're gonna dive in deeper tomorrow and on Thursday, because that's incredibly powerful. This is, from my experience, the single most important factor in determining how successful not just your podcast, but your business will be, is how laser focused, laser clear your messaging is, the pain point you're addressing and solving to your podcast, to your offers, and your business. That is one thing that most coaches get wrong, because they try to solve every problem under the sun for everybody. That's good, but that's something only God can do. Me and you, we're not God. I'm sure, Phil, you would agree. Yes, we are a piece of God. So this is why we need to focus on one very specific person. The more specific, the better. The more specific your avatar are, the more they can relate with you, identify with you, resonate with you. They will feel like, oh, this person actually understands me. He or she speaks my language. And this is where the magic happens. So clarity is the name of the game. For me, and I'm going to go deeper into that tomorrow and on Thursday. But for me, it's been mostly interviewing my prospects. And that's how I've been able to get clients. I had to get clients. And that's why I've been able to afford not to look at the numbers. If you go on my YouTube channel right now, I stand at 1,355 subscribers, which is absolutely nothing. My videos don't get more than, say, 20, 30, at most 50 views, which is absolutely nothing. But I don't mind, because that's not how I'm monetizing it. When people talk about monetizing, it means, oh, make money through sponsorships, downloads, and viewerships. That's good, but that applies only, and you can only benefit from that if you have a massive, massive audience and you get, say, hundreds of thousands of views per video. And that case, yes, you can make some decent. People are making $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 per video, but those videos get 500,000, 1 million, 2 million views. If your videos get anything less than 10,000 views, you're not going to make much. So this is why I completely didn't even focus on that, but I focused on using my podcast as a platform to get my foot in the door, to connect with people I normally wouldn't, and basically interview my prospect. That's why I've been able to... Go ahead.
So when you say you're interviewing your prospects, I know you're going to cover more of this. You're interviewing people that could become your clients. Are you actually interviewing them in a coaching style way where you're offering them advice, or are you more so using that call to find out about them so that you know what to... I'm probably jumping the gun, am I?
No,
you're probably going to talk about this tomorrow.
Yes, this is what we're going to be talking for the rest of the week. And it's a very big topic, but that's a fantastic question. To answer your question, I don't do coaching on the calls. And this one thing I will teach you guys, I will highly recommend you. When you get on a podcast with someone, do not sell, do not pitch. Your job when you get on a call with someone is to have a conversation, heart-to-heart conversation, to build that trust, that rapport, that connection, that confidence. And when you do that, that's when, guaranteed, he or she will ask you before, during, after the call, so what about you, Aiden? What do you do? You tell them, oh, I do X for Y. Oh, wow, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Can you help me? Sure, let's set up a time to talk. And that happens because on the call, you were not selling, pitching, sleazy, pushy, and all that. If you're trying to sell a coach on a call, you will lose people. They will only have one thing on their mind, is to get off the call as soon as possible. That's not what you want. You want to be different, because everyone else is trying to get you on a discovery call to pitch you. And we want to be completely different. We want to I want to do business in an organic way, in a natural way. Because again, remember what I said, business is a relationship nurturing process. It's not a numbers game. This is why I still don't do cold DMs and spamming people. I don't do that. For me, I interview my prospect. I know who my prospects are. I work with coaches, authors, and professionals. So again, we're going to go over that over the rest of the week, but the gist of it is we're going to dive deep into identifying your zone of genius, your gifts, and then once we know your zone of genius and your gifts, then we'll be able to craft an offer around that to solve a very specific pain point for that very specific person. And tomorrow and on Thursday, we'll have two incredibly guest speakers. One is going to be tomorrow, Jillian. She's an incredible person when it comes to creating an offer people cannot refuse. She's closed over $30 million in the last 6-7 years. So when it comes to sales and closing without being sleazy, she's the queen. And on Thursday, I will have an incredible person. Some of you may know her, Hannah Newman. She used to be the content and marketing director for no other than Alex Hormozi. You guys heard of Alex Hormozi? This guy is a genius. Is what, 32 years old, is super jacked, and he's making over $200 million a year. His YouTube channel, his content is better than most $10,000 programs. This is the one book, one of the only books, you know, guys, I'm a nomad. I travel light. This is one of the only books I take with me anywhere. It's called The $100 Million Offers. Highly recommend you get it. And $100 million leads. Highly, highly recommend. This book is the best business book ever, especially in marketing. Get it, guys. And on Thursday, I will have this guy's former marketing content director. She's a killer copywriter. She worked for Alex for 3 years. Now she's on her own. She's a killer copywriter. We're part of the same coaching program. Some of you guys know was Jay Lee, the sales ninja. And she just reported, 2 weeks ago that she closed $267,000 in just 30 days. She's a high-level copywriter. And she's going to be coming to talk to us on Thursday morning. No other than Alex Hormozi's former content marketing director. So again, highly recommend, guys, get this book. Maybe I should make it a mandatory for every new client, my academy, and every attendees of the future 5-day podcast challenge. Get this book. This book is gold. Get it also on Audible, because this book is incredible. Just like
$100 million leads is as good.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Look up this guy
on Audible. I haven't listened to it yet.
Good. Consume anything from this guy, Alex Hormozi. I will write his name on the chat. Again, I'm not affiliated with him. He's one of my dream people to interview. Okay, Alex Hormozi.
One of the things that Alex does is if you go to acquisitions.com, everything he teaches is there for free. If you're making a couple or 5 million or whatever it is, he will charge you for exactly the same thing.
Yep. So his business model is he works with businesses doing 3 to 10 million, and it takes them to say 3 to 5x their business. It says if you're making less than $1 million, you're not my client. So this is why before that his starting motto was, hi, my name is Alex. I make $100 million a year and I have nothing to sell you. It was basically providing for free all the things that other coaches, so-called, were charging $10,000. So that's why, guys, consume anything from this guy. Is the best out there. Alex Hormozi. So I'm going to have some killer guests for you guys tomorrow, Thursday, and on Friday, another guest is going to show you how to go on a podcast tour, go on 50 podcasts as a guest of where your exact ideal audience hang out in the next 100 days. So I have some incredible goodies for you guys for the rest of the week, which will help you to answer your question, Aideen, to further get, to be able to really connect even deeper with the exact ideal audience, because the name of the game is clarity. And that's something we're going to tackle on from tomorrow and the rest of the week. I went on a large tangent. Did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Let me see if there's any other comments. Okay. Very welcome. Thank you for being here, Phil. All right, let me fly through now. Okay, so another incredible benefit of podcasting for business, once you create those, say, 40, 50, 60-minute episode, you can leverage those, repurpose them for your other social media, make highlights, clips, reels, and so on and so forth. And there's tools that allow you to turn a video into a blog post and vice versa, turn a blog post into a video and audio that are AI generated. So many things you can do for that. I will share some of them with you later on. And this is very key, very powerful. It elevates you and positions you not only as the expert, the leader and authority in your field, but most importantly, as their expert, their leader, their authority, because again, they've been listening to you, they started to like you, trust you, and see you as a friend. And by default, you will become their go-to person, their go-to guy or girl. This is something incredible for business because again, it's gonna elevate you to being seen as a go-to person. Podcasting has become the new golf. It's the best way to network. Before that, when people wanted to network, they would say, okay, let's hang out at the country club or let's play a round of golf. But now, hey, come on my podcast, let's hang out. Can't tell you how many multi-million-dollar businesses start as a result of people connecting on a podcast. Nowadays, I only do business with people I met on my podcast. Just like most of you guys, I get spammed all day long with people trying to pitch me on Facebook from the first message. I used to reply to them, say, listen, you want to do business with me? Get to know me first. Now I don't even bother responding to them. So again, podcasting is phenomenal for networking because again, it gives you access to people you wouldn't have normally access to, builds that trust and so on and so forth. And podcasting also is a fabulous, fabulous launching pad for much bigger things. For example, for me, it allowed me to realize one of my all-time dreams to become an author. I've done 4 books, 2 as a contributor and 2 for myself, inviting people on my podcast to share their story. This is volume 1. Volume 2 is in my bag, but I showed you yesterday. I can show it to you later. And now, who knows, maybe I will become maybe public speaking, maybe getting on TV, radios, doing conferences. This is what podcasting allows you to do that. One of the fastest ways for you to become a TEDx speaker or to become a sought-after speaker, study podcast. Because podcasting will allow you to display your expertise, connect. It's basically your portfolio. Let's say you do 50, 60, 100 episodes of a podcast. Someone who's looking for an expert, either as a trader, companies, corporations looking for trainers to come train the staff or people to fill their conferences. Where do they go? They look for podcasts. Because again, if someone has a podcast, like say 50, 60 episodes, 100 episodes on a topic, yeah, it's a pretty good bet that this person is an expert in the field. And not only that, but because they have a podcast, they're an amazing communicator. They know how to express themselves because that's what podcasting allows you. Remember what I shared with you was the personal benefit of a podcast? That's exactly it. So if you have any dreams of becoming a public speaker or going to companies and doing training, corporate trainings, then podcasting is the best, basically your training. Does that make sense, guys? Yep. All right. And last, but definitely not least, and this is something I've alluded many, many times, it's going to allow you to drastically reduce the sales cycle of whatever you're selling, especially if it's high ticket, because again, as long as you're selling anything high ticket, or a high ticket means of $1,000, it's all about trust, rapport. Remember those 3 questions? Is this person competent? Can I trust him or her? And most importantly, can I do what he or she is claiming? And the podcast is your opportunity to achieve that. And once you do that, whatever you're selling is going to become much, much, much easier because again, they've been listening to you. They like you. They trust you. They feel they know you. And then buying becomes a much more natural, automatic, organic progression. Just like I like to say, when you build that connection, that trust, there's no need for you to sell, to pitch, to convince. I like to say in a funny and cheesy way, there's no need to seduce or kidnap someone to do business with them. It's a natural, automatic, organic progression. Ultimately, it's all about sales, but sales and business, especially high ticket, it's all about trust. And again, it's something I alluded many times. It's a fantastic way to build a deeper connection with your podcast. Again, you have this connection, your audience gets to know you. first as a person, because again, before the businessman or businesswoman, they want to know who's Johnny, who's Karen, who's Jaime, who's Katana, who's Sandra, who's Sophie. First and foremost, as a human being, as a man, as a woman, before the business person, because if I can connect with you on a human to human level, I don't care who you are. We're not going to talk, let alone do business with. But if we connect, then it's much, much more likely. Hey, by the way, what do you do? Oh, I do X for Y. Wow, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Can you help me? Sure, let's have a time to talk. See how easy it is to take things from a casual conversation, a podcast, to talking about doing business. It's very natural, as opposed to trying to do all presentations, sending them proposals and chasing people to get them on calls and all that. This is boring. This is not the way to do it. Does that make sense, guys? All right. Here's a big one. Do you guys know this guy? Russell Brunson. He's a founder of a multi-billion-dollar company called ClickFunnels. ClickFunnels is a platform that allows you to build killer sales funnels. I haven't used the website in 10 years. I only use nowadays funnels. If you don't know the difference between a funnel and how powerful funnels are, that can be an entire topic for an entire 5-day challenge, which is beyond the scope of this program, but highly recommend you look into that. So anyways, here's what he said. Music and radio listeners make on average $60,000, while podcast listeners make on average $120,000. Can you guys take a guess as to why that is? Let's hear a couple of people. Let me check the chats.
Because they're selling something that they do at a higher value, whereas music and radio relies on number of people involved.
That's a good answer.
Listens.
Thank you, Sophie. Anyone else? Johnny?
Is like music and radio stations, you're kind of doing a blast out to not a specific audience, but podcasting and funnels, you're really targeting a higher end market.
That's a great answer. The main reason is because, and this has been proven by studies, people who listen to podcasts, they understand the value of self-investment, of investing in themselves. They understand the value of paying for coaching programs to become better. That doesn't mean that people that listen to music and radio do not. But on average, the people that listen to podcasts are much more likely to invest in themselves, to hire a coach, to become better. They're more likely, they're more successful, they're already entrepreneurs, so understand the value of investing in themselves. So that's why people that listen on the podcast, on average, they make twice as much as people who do not listen to podcasts. Maybe you should have phrased it better. It's not people that listen to music. I love music. I listen to music all the time. But on average, it should have been people that listen to podcasts versus people that don't listen to podcasts. Because again, when you listen to podcasts because you want to continue your education, learn more, expand your mind, what is possible, learning from leaders, from thought leaders and stuff like that. So that's why people that listen to podcasts are more likely to understand and invest in themselves and see their value and understanding in themselves. That's why. Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah.
Awesome. And again, as a result of that, your podcast listeners will be some of your best clients because again, they have that connection, that trust, they feel they know you. Because of that, the sales cycle will be much shorter, and the progression from prospect to client is going to become so much more easier, much more seamless. Because again, they have that trust. This is a key point, guys. When you're selling iTicket, it's all about one thing: trust, and answering those 3 questions. Is this person competent? Can I trust him or her? And can I do it? And podcasting is the best way to answer those 3 questions. All right. So day 3 is completed. We're finished. Any questions so far about day 2? What is the number 1 takeaway point that you learned today? Let's hear a couple of people. that either you didn't think of it that way, or that you didn't know about, or anything? Let's see who messaged me here. Leslie, yes, absolutely. You want to expand on that, Leslie?
I love the fact that what you're talking about is really like a relationship, whether it's somebody you're interviewing or even when you're giving a presentation as part of your podcast and kind of, doing a combination of both. It is that relationship. That's where that trust is being built in there, because they're going to tune into what you have to say and over again so that they can learn more. And as they learn more, they might also go, oh, wow, I think I can do this. Let me sign up, because
That's
this
it.
person knows what they're talking about.
This is the most important lesson for you guys to remember. Business, especially if you're selling high ticket, anything over $1,000, it's all about trust. Always remember those 3 questions. Maybe even print them, put them on a sticky on your computer, on your wallet. Is this person competent? Can I trust them or her? And the big one, can I do it? Sure, he did it, she did it, they did it. What about me? Can I do it? And that's what podcasting allows you to do. Shannon, yes, absolutely. This is why I've been able to change my life, get over 100 high ticket clients with a YouTube channel of less than 200 subscribers. That's exactly it. By number one, having clarity, and then interviewing my prospects. Even this is how you'll be able to get leads on demands and clients, even if you have no existing audience, by having clarity and interviewing those people. All right, now here's a sneak peek into tomorrow, day 3. We're going to be, let me see another. That's it. Absolutely, Johnny. You will attract those that are looking for what I have to offer. That's exactly it. You share your story, you display your expertise, and trust the universe. The people that connect with you, relate with you, identify with you, they will find you. Even you might feel that you have not many people watching or listening to you, the right people are watching you. They will find you somehow, some way. Someone will introduce you to them or tell them about you. And that's how people, that's how the universe works. Because we're all frequencies and vibration. You guys are all awakened soul. You understand that? Absolutely, Karen. Absolutely. Absolutely. Just like I used to say, there's a lot of people. I talked about that the other day with Rosemary. She's a wonderful student of mine. And she said that, you know what? I'm grateful for all of the wonderful clients that are waiting for me to share my gifts, that are waiting for me to stop playing small. They're just waiting on the sidelines for you to step up. That's it. Thank you, Leslie. See you tomorrow. So here's a sneak peek about tomorrow. We're going to be looking at how you can launch your podcast in 3 easy steps. We're going to brainstorm together. What is your podcast about? And most importantly, this is a big one. What is your zone of genius? And that alone is going to be the single most important thing we're going to cover this week. Because again, you want to build your podcast, not just your podcast, your offer, your messaging, your business, all about your zone of genius. The more you can do that, the more powerful, the more magnetic, and the more your messaging, your business, your podcast will be, and ultimately the more successful you will be. Not just your podcast, but your offer, your business, and more fulfilling you will be. And we're going to, once we have identified your zone of genius, we're going to be able to look as who is your ideal client. Because again, we're not going after the niche, which is the most profitable. No, we're going to go after the niche or industry that you have the deepest connection with. Looking into finding, identifying, finding, and embracing, and then sharing loud and proud your gift, your zone of genius, and build your avatar. Once you identify your zone of genius and your gift, it's going to become self-evident as to who is your ideal client. There's no guesswork. It's going to be self-evident. So we're going to do all of that tomorrow. Thank you guys for tonight. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your trust. I appreciate you. I love you guys. And I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Any last minute questions?
Thank you.
Very welcome. So see you tomorrow, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. For you guys, Mark and Johnny, 1 p.m. your time, and for me, 7 o'clock. So see you guys tomorrow. Good night.
Awesome.
Take care.
Thanks, everyone.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye-bye.